person that always says communication, but you're absolutely right. I think,
It's
you know, comprehension is the most important thing to get in that. How do you deal with that in a relationship, and how do you even arrive at that comprehension aspect as well?
You have to be patient. I'll be honest, I'm still on that journey. My husband, if he saw this, he'd be like, better tell the truth now. But yeah, I am still on this journey. But one of the things I've learned is that I need to be patient. Just just a very basic principle. I thought I was a patient person before I got married, and I found out that actually I am not. I am not patient. And every time we have communication difficulties, that's what I like to call it, it's because I'm not patient. I'm not willing to actually wait for him to comprehend. I want him to get it now, and if you don't get it, well, that's your business. That's not. Do you really care about the person then? Do you really care about what you want them to understand if you're not patient enough to allow them to comprehend it? He says things to me a lot, and I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand what you mean. And it's like, how many more times do I have to say the same thing? And I'm like, it's not about the times. It's just, you know, I don't get it. And sometimes you might not get it for a while, but I think you have to remember that that is also okay, and that is normal. Some of us think that we're supposed to just get it just like that. No. We spoke about the guy who, after 18 years, like, I believe that. I pray I'm not going to be 18 years, but I believe that. Definitely. But you have to be patient. And I think as well, we talk a lot about speaking, but we don't talk much about active listening. What does it mean to be an active listener? Are you listening to respond, or are you listening to understand? Because they're completely two different things. Are you listening to what they've said to you because you want to quickly fire back with what you need to say? That means you didn't hear what they said. You need to think about active listening skills. And I remember when I was talking to these people about joining the Samaritans, they were like to me, do you know how to listen? And I thought, what do you mean, do I know how to listen? Of course I know how to listen. And they're like, no, do you know how to actively listen? And I couldn't answer the question because I was like, I don't understand what you're asking. And there's like a whole course on active listening, how you can actually have skills to actually actively listen to what people are saying, and to make people feel heard, because that's the other part of it. A lot of the conflict is because the other person doesn't feel that you've really understood or heard them. It becomes an emotional thing, especially for women. It's like, you don't understand. If you understood, you wouldn't have said that next. You know, like, there's a way to phrase things. There's a time and a place. There's a way to say it. There's a lot that it entails, but you've got to, I think, listen before you can speak. The Bible, what does the Bible say? It has the text.
Slow to speak.
Exactly.
Slow to speak.
Yeah, exactly. There's a reason we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. And a lot of us don't listen enough. We talk too much. And I'm talking about myself included. Sometimes I just chat too much, and I need to just listen to my husband instead. So I'm still learning, guys.
It's a learning process.
Hopefully I'll get there soon. But yeah.
Let me just say, after the amount of time I've been married, you ain't getting nowhere. This is it. This is the journey. But I wanted to throw something on it as well. Like, recently, this is the other side of active listening. Recently, when it was like, so are you going again? I won't give you the actual account, but I'll try and break it down to you in skeleton as best I can. Are you going again? I was like, yeah, I have to. Okay. Next day, she said, are you going again? So I was like, yeah, I told you the other day. The next day, she said, so you're going again? Okay. So in my head now, I'm like, I've answered you 3 times already. The same answer. So I said, what are you really asking? Do you get me? We're going through this again. And this is something that's featured in not that event, but this I've caught on to, because I'm a kind of person, I don't like to repeat cycles. And something that frustrates me is if we're still arguing about the same thing for 10 years, which can happen. Yeah. Which for us has happened in certain things as well. Why are we arguing about it again? And it's like, with this particular thing, it was a classic example of, so I said, what are you really asking me? And she said, but I'm asking you straight. Can you just answer the question? So I said, yeah, but I have. But I'm just wondering, because you're asking so many times, I'm asking if there's something else that's the issue. And sometimes the other person doesn't know what, hasn't articulated deeper what they're really thinking. And then what might have been an argument years back was a discussion today, which was, tell me what you mean when you say da 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 da.
Yeah.
The question still wasn't answered at that point. And I said, yeah, I know you said, but tell me what you mean. And then she was like, she paused and went, what I mean is, so that took 4 days. 4 days, 19 years of marriage. Now, some people can do it better, but some people might not even get to that stage. But understand, you have to be, like you said, bro, like scriptures is so right. Solomon knows what he's talking about. Try not to speak so quickly and think about another way to resolve this thing.
Yeah.
Nicole, is there another way? Kojo, is there another way that we can resolve this? Because what happened last time isn't working. Now, don't get me wrong, they may be at fault, but I still have some power over the situation. What have I not said, or what have I not heard? You have to keep asking yourself that, no matter how right you feel. Because this is why, another reason why being right is irrelevant, because when you're communicating, I think in psychology, they say that when there's communication from one person to another, if there's any interference, it's noise. It becomes noise. And noise is an inaudible. So you can't make sense of it until it's comprehended, right?
Yes,
so there's that bridge. So what comes out of my mouth and goes to your ears, then also has to be challenged by your personal experiences. It has to be challenged by your wiring and your belief systems, your preconceived ideas, before you processed it and said, I understand what you're saying. And this is why when you then go back to saying, you have to deal with yourself, because a man will just say, oh, you look nice in that. What's that supposed to mean?
Oh my God.
And what did they hear? Do you know what I mean? No, you didn't say anything wrong.
Yeah.
But the responsibility is still mine to clear up the noise. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like, it's not all on the person who's damaged. And the thing is, like we said last week, we're all going to marry broken people. We're all messed up here. So guarantee you're going to get me wrong at some point. But I'm here like, okay, let me try and fix this. What I meant was, now, boy, you might have them raise the dead already. You might have raised Cain on that already, and people might be throwing pots at you, but you still got a responsibility to just do the best you can.